Hey there. For this video I've put together some very quick and easy little vines, the same ones that I used on my little abandoned manor. They are beautiful looking, they are finely detailed and they look very delicate, but they are fairly robust and you can handle them and they won't fall apart, which is an excellent thing. And they also cost nearly nothing to make, so it's a win-win with these beautiful little vines. So I do hope you get something out of this and I hope you enjoy the video. To make these vines, I'm using a piece of braided burlap trim. Just unbraid it and start breaking it into single strands. There are so many, even in just a short piece of this. It'd do you for probably about the rest of your life, I'd reckon. So you don't need very much to make an awful lot. And each singular piece you also untwist. So as you can imagine, I'm going to get an awful lot. Even just one piece can make quite a big vine. Now this is it after I've untwisted it, and it's very, very fine. It's finer than hair, but it's not as strong as hair. If I sort of, fiddle with it and try and separate it into pieces that would look like vines and manipulate it and move it around, it kind of feathers out and breaks off, and yeah, it doesn't look anything like a vine at all, which is no good to me. As you can see, it kind of just frays and is useless like this. So instead of it being like that, I'm going to put it into a brown acrylic and water wash and just let it dry after you've given it a little bit of soak, and then untwist it and pull it apart. It can be a little bit of a pain to do this. I struggle with it a bit because it becomes quite stiff, but you are still able to pull it apart and just make, what look like little tendrils coming away from one sort of a stem, and it looks very much like a vine. You can have it feathered out very fine or thicker pieces doing this. You could play around with it yourself and you'll see what I mean, but it holds its shape and it's quite strong. And also it's brown, so it looks like a living vine and not a dead one, as the burlap trim would look like something that's dead for the colour that it is. As you can see, I struggled to pull it apart. I had to really try and get my nails in there and, really pry it apart. Perhaps a pin would be handy to do this with. But as you can see, it's got a good shape to it, and each one becomes an individual looking vine. Could also work well as roots. Put some spray adhesive onto it so you can sprinkle on some flocking. But before I spray it, which I'll run outside and spray it, before I do that, I'll just lay some flocking down. This is homemade flocking as well. I'll put a link for that video in the box below. And just sprinkle it down so you've got something to sit it on after you've given it a spray on both sides. So I just go outside, give it a bit of a spray, and then I lay it down so the bottom of it is not going to stick to the paper or whatever you're going to lay it on. And then a nice garnish of some flocking on top, and that's it. See how fine they look, like tiny, tiny leaves. They're just minuscule, amazing little ones. And every vine comes out unique and realistic and quite alive looking. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and they really make your work look just that little cut above. I do hope you got something out of this, because I know these are a brilliant little thing, and you, I'm sure, will get a lot out of these too on all of your work. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope to see you next time.